Jackson. And Jim, the Clippers have officially entered the danger zone. They fall 3-2 now in the series, so they will be facing elimination Thursday at Intuit Dome. But where did things go wrong tonight, falling behind by as much as 22?
Well, we can start to look at some hot shooting by Michael Porter Jr., by Jamal Murray early in that first quarter. That wasn't it for me. The body language didn't speak that this team at the beginning on the defensive end had the energy. The offensive end, they scored the ball to shut up 50% for the evening. But it wasn't any kind of pressure applied to Denver early in this game to allow the Clippers to make them feel uncomfortable. Murray got any shot he wanted early. So did Michael Porter Jr. being able to get some shots early. And that set the tone for, one, what was going to be accomplished by Denver the rest of the game, but also it kept the crowd involved. The crowd got involved in this game early, and it wasn't really consistent. I'm not going to say what the effort wasn't there at times, but the consistent effort on the defensive end to impose our will like we did in that fourth quarter just wasn't there.
Yeah, all the coaching staff had preached throughout the week was starting fast, and the Clippers did the exact opposite in this game for a team that had a top 3 defense all season, not coming out with the right defensive energy here in a critical Game 5. So for Denver, it started and ended with one Jamal Murray, who was big tonight for them in this win. 43 points and 7 assists along with it.
Well, here's the thing. The championship DNA. You come back home after a tough win on the road. Jamal Murray found his rhythm early from behind the three-point line. Hadn't been shooting the ball that well from behind the arc, but getting to a spot, more pull-up jump shots and baskets inside the paint and getting out in transition. But right here, it's almost like he was able to dictate to the defense the shot that he wanted. And then at the time, really not getting contested, whether it was in transition, coming off the pick and roll, some miscommunications by what the Clipper defense were trying to accomplish allowed Jamal Murray to get hot early. And once that faucet was open, there wasn't no closing it, Christina.
Yeah, this will officially be known as the Jamal Murray game. He went 17 of 26 from the field, as you see the 4D shot chart tonight. He also knocked down a total of 8 threes for them in the Clippers loss. But, of course, Denver comes out on top. A lot of that had to do with their three-point shooting in the game. They knocked down 17 threes, and this is not a team that's known for their three-point shooting, not a high-volume three-point shooting team. But tonight they seem to be falling early and often.
Well, in the playoffs here, look, about 33% of their field goals attempts come from behind the three-point line. But when you're at home, you're playing well, the ball is able to move freely. You're going to apply some pressure and tilt your defense towards Jokic. Now you're going to be open. Now, keep in mind, the scouting report, like with Russ, okay, don't rush out. With Aaron Gordon, you don't rush out. Make them make a couple. Keep that in mind, too, okay? So a lot of those early shots were by design to get the ball out of Murray's hands or out of Jokic's hands, but the Nuggets were able to knock it in. But I would say this. Moving the ball around the perimeter was too easy. No pressure. So even if you made a mistake, and I said this during the game, maybe on the backside of your defense, by applying pressure to the basketball, maybe you're able to get over. We didn't see that at all from the Clippers. I would say consistently. At times we did, but it wasn't consistent enough, in particular in that first quarter.
Yeah, well, the one thing the Clippers did get consistently tonight, some great efforts from one Chris Dunn. His three ball had not been falling in this series, but tonight he came up big for them, hitting when they left him open. What did you see from him, Jim?
Well, it's similar to our game plan to kind of leave Russell open, or you might want to leave Christian Brown open on the perimeter. It's going to be the same way with Chris Dunn or Derrick Jones Jr. to say, okay, force him to have to make some shots. And early and often, Chris Dunn was a bright highlight for us on the offensive end, being able to step right into his three-point shooting. Now, Brian and I talked about this. Maybe a positive out of a negative is that not only did Dunn shoot the ball, but Bogdanovich also was able to shoot the ball well. So coming back home, just as we saw Michael Porter Jr. shoot well on the road and also Christian Brown shoot well on the road, now come back home, maybe that is an added advantage that the Clippers may have offensively come Thursday.
Yeah, 33 points combined from Bogdanovich and Chris Dunn. So now let's talk about Bogey, because he had 18 points tonight, by far his best game in this series. So what was he able to find that might be able to carry over in game
I think you
5,
made to
6?
take that back. You're talking about a carryover. That fourth quarter in Game 4 where he was able to have some kind of impact on the comeback that the Clippers put on the table. He shot the ball, made some shots. He had a big tip in. So now you're brewing with confidence. They probably couldn't sleep the next couple of days in order for him to get ready to play. And it was proven that he didn't hesitate to either take his open jump shot or attack off the dribble. So it was two great outings, I think, for him confidence-wise, but also more importantly for the team to see that if Bogey gets it going like we saw him in the latter part of the season, that he can be an added advantage to the Clippers offensively, in particular something that we're going to need going into Game 6.
Yeah, so the Clippers have their backs against the wall, but certainly some bright spots here tonight. If their role players can get going at home, the Clippers hoping to stave off elimination, but we'll have much more on this one here from Ball Arena. The Nuggets take the lead in the series heading into Game 6. So the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard didn't have a huge takeover game, but he did set a playoff high in assists with 11 tonight. He also had 20 points. So what did you see from the Claw in tonight's outing?
Kind of picking and choosing the spots, and I said this from the beginning of the game, that it's not so much that schematic game plan that the Clippers put together, but it's on your superstars. I thought Kawhi and James needed to come out early and establish themselves offensively and force Denver to have to guard them. I don't think that was the case. I think both kind of eased their way in the game. And in a Game 5 on the road, hostile environment, those two need to be much more aggressive early in the game. You saw the assists that Kawhi had. I thought being aggressive early in the game would force Denver to have to rotate a lot earlier. So, overall, I think a good game by Kawhi, probably not the one that he wanted in particular because you didn't win the basketball game. So, I just look for Kawhi and James to be a lot more aggressive from the jump in Game 6 back in L.A.
Well, Ivica Zubac has been very consistent throughout this series, and he is thriving in a night where he is, or in a series where he has had to face off against the Joker. Zoo had a career playoff high 27 tonight, and he went 11 of 15 from the field.
But so aggressive, but so efficient. Zoo just understands where the gaps in the defense are at. He kind of finds those spots where they're like this, an offensive rebound, and when off the pick and roll two-man game, he finds it. And then having the confidence in his offense to shoot this kind of runner jump hook any and everywhere around the key is a special moment. So you hate to see a performance like Badu put on go to waste, but yet and still it's a confidence builder, I think, for him going into a critical Game 6.
All right, well, Jim, it was a very busy day across the association. There were 4 games tonight, but the 3 in the East were all win-or-go-home games. So let's see what happened. The Pacers win in overtime. They advance. The Pistons, they extend their series. They stave off elimination against the Knicks, and Game 6 for them will be back in the D. And the Celtics, they advance as well. They win tonight. So 3 of the 4 are set in the East. Pacers and Cavs will square off in the second round. The Celtics still awaiting now the winner of that Pistons-Knicks series. So some fun stuff happening out East, but that is all here in Ball Arena. Jim, what do the Clippers need to do in Game 6?
Just regroup. It's not innocent. Again, it's the effort to me. You see it when it's applied in the fourth quarter, what kind of pressure they can put on Denver, and then Denver will make mistakes. Imagine if you did that in the first quarter, in the second quarter, what that looks like. And we've seen it before when Clippers were able to win by double digits because that pressure